Hello, everybody. This is Abraham Lemoyne, Fantasy Football Rebel, and today we are going to be doing a mock draft, a 12-team mock draft. I highly recommend doing these. These are going to give you a great perspective on where people are getting picked and where you should start deciding to pick your players, the ones that you particularly like. We are going to be talking about the fact that there are value picks, which means that certain players will get taken off the board because there's a dearth of them. So running backs are at the top of this list. They are there because there's not many who's on the top who can give you those yards and give you those touchdowns and give you those receptions that you want. So you want to have a person like that. Quarterbacks you could get late in the draft. Wide receivers you could catch a sleeper. But running backs, the good ones, they go quick. So usually within the first 12 rounds, you usually have like running backs, Gronkowski, the top tier wide receivers, and maybe Aaron Rodgers and Andrew Luck. Within the first 24, all of them are gone. So you really want to be able to get that value. You don't really want to get Aaron Rodgers at 1 because you're missing great value when it comes to one of these top tier running backs. According to my rankings, I have Adrian Peterson, Le'Veon Bell, Jamal Charles, LaShawn McCoy, and Marshawn Lynch at the top. If you're in the top 5 picks, you want one of these guys for sure. Don't pass up on them. I highly recommend not passing up on them for someone like Andrew Luck, even though Andrew Luck is going to be amazing and he's going to get you an incredible amount of points. But a running back is so hard to get. And so if you have a chance to get it, you want to go ahead and get it. So I'm right outside of the top 4. Honestly, I only want these 4. Okay, I say 5 because Marshawn Lynch, I think, is still going to be able to do what he needs to do and get you your points. But I'm not the biggest fan. I want one of these 4. I'm high on LaShawn McCoy, and I want him. Now, that's going to change my draft strategy. You have to understand the people in your league. You have to understand how many people have actually done their research. And you have to know that there's an opportunity to really make or break your fantasy football team by who you get and where you get them. And I'm going to try to show how to control a draft. That means by knowing who you want and going after them in the correct rounds and understanding that you might lose them, but you're sacrificing the value that you are getting in that particular round to go get someone that you like. There's 2 ways to do it. But I would suggest throwing that out the window for the first and maybe even the second round. I would suggest following a clear path of the value, and then I would suggest going after who you want. And so I'm going to be going off of my fantasyfootballrebel.com site, and that's where I will be going with my list. So I'll be following through here with these videos, and these are my rankings as well, and I'll be deciding who I pick based on my rankings or based on my thoughts specifically for what is left. So I'm going to start putting people there. In the order that I like them. and Jamal Charles is gone. So see how I have them queued up, and this is just a way. And if you're in a different platform, you can actually set up your pre-draft rankings, so you don't have to do this queued thing. But since this is a mock draft, you are going to have to go through this process. Okay, so I actually have my best player available. So this is my highest ranked player when it comes to my site. And so I had that's clear understanding that I'm going to pick him up. Draft player. Okay, so now I'm going to have to wait 14 picks before it even gets back to me. But I can start planning. I can start seeing what else comes off. Um, these are my players right now. I have them. I would love to get them. It's going to be hard because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, and there's 14 picks in between. So what I want to start doing is I want to start putting in more. I do not like CJ Anderson. I'm going to go on record and say that. I don't like him this year. I don't think he's going to be that good. I think Ronnie Hillman, Monty Ball, they're going to take from away from them, and Denver just doesn't know what they're doing as far as running backs. And I just wouldn't put my trust in him. I mean, honestly, that's just where I'm at. That's just what I believe. See, CJ Anderson is still going in the top in the first round, and I just don't like it. I think whoever gets CJ Anderson is going to be highly disappointed. I love Demaryius Thomas. He's my highest ranked wide receiver, and I love Julio Jones. I think it should have been Demaryius Thomas, Julio Jones, and Dez Bryant rather than reverse. Even though I have Dez Bryant ranked behind Demaryius Thomas, I love Julio Jones. Okay, so it looks like I am going to get one of my 2 top picks, and I will end up going with AJ Green. And if you're playing in a dynasty league, AJ Green is your guy. If you're playing in a league to win this year, Calvin Johnson is your guy. But that just made my pick a lot easier with AJ Green. Let me see who's at running back first. Okay, so all the top tier running backs are gone. Okay, that's what I'm saying. First, second round, the running backs are gone. There's nobody else that you want. I could go Andrew Luck here, but I still think he's a little bit too early, and I want to get that top tier wide receiver. Okay, so I am going with AJ Green. So now the ideal situation is I'm batting on wide receiver. I want my wide receivers. Andrew Luck's not going to come to me. The running backs, I'm done. I mean, I can I can go ahead and reach for them, any of these, in round 3, but it wouldn't be worth it. It would be bad value. It would be bad value whenever I could get a receiver that I really want, especially Mike Evans. If I could get Mike Evans, that that's that's the guy I want. That's the guy I need. It's gonna be hard to truly see Mike Evans fall back to me. But if I could get him, man, that would be awesome. If I can't get him, I will go Jimmy Graham. Nope, will not go Jimmy Graham. But I'm pushing it right now. So I have 2 of my people left. Okay. Okay, so I might even have to go with one of these guys. I might have to go with Carlos Hyde. So I do have another strategy. And Mike Evans is gone. What a shame. Okay. So there's 2 things I could do. I can either go with Emmanuel Sanders, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, Carlos Hyde, I'm going Brandon Cooks. He's a lone guy in New Orleans, and he's going to get his touches. The decision there was hard. I mean, because I'm going against my rankings knowing that I love Brandon Cooks. And knowing that Brandon Cooks isn't going to be alone. I guarantee these 5 or so players are all going to be gone. And that just leaves me with no chance to pick Brandon Cooks up later. However, I do feel like people are not looking at Andre Johnson as much as I will, and so I can get him, who I think is going to be a number 1 fantasy receiver this year, points-wise, and I love him. And if I could get him as my 3rd receiver, or better yet, he would be my 2nd receiver with Brandon Cooks in the flex. That's what I want.
Andre Johnson, there is his 1,000th career catch. Andre Johnson now with 1,000 catches. The 10th player in NFL history and the 2nd fastest.
Yeah. Keenum's throw is high just like last week. Vein like a chicken on the bond. Top cat chat, let's begin another yawn. Let's flying sausage cheese, or is it chicken palm? The roosters don't fly like boosters don't buy. So what powers cowards to get them to the top? Just to fall asleep, listen in the box. Ribbon in the sky is the ribbon that I drop.
Andre Johnson.
Racks up stacks of fat reading to catch chief and wrapped up plants from trap dealings. Now what's the coffin with a scratch ceiling? And what's the talking without the match feeling? That's berry living and cherry picking every lemon from your berry system, then proceed with the pack feeding. When I was young, I had visions of another world, sneaking looks at the porn stash of my brother Earl. Incense smoke made
second goal at the 4th. Look at the time. What a catch!
Oh yeah, he still got it. Needs with Andrew Luck this year. Oh yeah,
cities with large moons, faith healers, ex-female drug dealers, and art booms. Apologize for my weird mix. What tastes like hot dogs and tear drips.
Second and goal. It's Patrick. One up top for it.
Give me that.
They only hunt, kinda salty,
Stop it. Look at that concentration. Footwork. Andre Johnson.
I run the gambit like I'm throwing
Top
cards.
24, man.
Popular mechanics to
Better
overdose
believe
in
that,
hard.
man.
Paint cold pictures like Nova Scotian
You could get him at the
landscapes.
fourth
Nerd game,
round.
make Mandelbrot sets when we handshake. A word game, back
Yeah,
up, playing
you
that
gotta
condemn
steal it.
licks back up.
And that's
The word
basically what I'm doing.
playing at the man states
Hoping
means
that
I
I
can
can
still be
get
the
him
man
the
if the
fourth
dam breaks. And when the man breaks, some reflections what they can't face. But Pyrrha still treat the mirror like it's a fan base. The
Because
unfettered
that's
veteran, the
extreme
eagle
value.
feathered
In my
man of medicine
opinion,
that
that's
hovers
extreme
above
value.
cities like weathermen.
I got this
Maybe
man as
weather
a
woman,
top
whatever better to
24
tell you weather coming. I
player
prefer girls to
overall.
rain all over the world. And not rain like Rain Man or rain like Rain Dance or rain like a slight chance of rain when it's rain and a rain
Overall,
like dear
that
slaves
means-
to Santa Claus, slave man, but rain like queens that reign over
So
many
many-
men. And
that
not
means
queen
two
like Queen
rounds have
Killer
passed
Rhapsody
up on
Bohemian
him
Queen, but
if I get
queen
him in the
like
fourth
white
round.
glove wave hand. And not wave
One
hand
round,
like it's a
I'm
heat
sorry.
wave.
One
So
round
you
has
make
passed
a fan by waving your hand. I'm talking wave like you saying
Which I
hey,
will.
man. And not
And I'm
hate for
going
horses
with.
and horses like you almost voiceless. You gotta treat your vocal cords like it's a fortress and treat every single one of your words like reinforcements. And especially when you're recording, cause that's the portion that's important. When I was reporting that I was poor, but now I'm more than it's still hooker hills on my sugar hills and sweet spots. Crying shames make
There's a third and 15 for Fitzpatrick outside Andre Johnson looking for blocking. He gets it from Newton on one side. From his tight end Griffin, he gets
dropping 100 words for them hummingbirds that like to
Continue piling up people that make a difference for me. My next thing is I do want Martellus Bennett. I'm very high on Martellus Bennett this year. I really think that he's going to be good. And I need to make the adjustments to put him into the rankings. But Greg Olsen is still available, and I do like Greg Olsen just as much. Running backs, not really liking the pick of the litter. Wide receivers, I do love Golden Tate, but I think I'm gonna go with Greg. I love Martellus Bennett, but I think Greg Olsen is good value right here. Now for my running back situation, it's getting tricky now because I'm getting down, and like I said, running backs they go so quick. So one strategy I want to do is I like Isaiah Correll. Okay, I think I'm gonna try to do the Alfred Blue and Arian Foster combination. Arian Foster is injured. He's a great running back, top 10 for sure, but he is injured and he'll be out for a while. So my thing is to get the combination of Alfred Blue and Arian Foster. That way I have Alfred Blue for the first half and then Arian Foster when he gets back. I also am a fan of Andre Williams, and I also am a fan of Amir Abdullah. So I'm set on tight end. I usually don't like getting another one. If I want to, there's plenty little tight ends that I could pick up near the end of the draft. I don't get a defense until I know who they're playing. So I'll do things such as look up who has a bad offense. Titans have a bad offense, plus they have a rookie quarterback. So I would look up Titans 2015 schedule. I would then click on the schedule and find out who they play. first week. Okay, so they play the Buccaneers, okay? And they're playing the Browns and the Colts, okay? You want to start looking at these. Of course, Bills and Dolphins, they're going to have good defenses. Maybe even the Texans. I want to look at these people. Buccaneers would be okay to get, but Browns. This is the sweet spot. This is the sweet spot, okay? So what you want to do is you want to see who the Browns play. Since you'll get them facing the Titans in week 2, who do the Browns face in week 1? That's the big question right here, because are they worth drafting? And in all my thoughts, they are, because they play the Jets, who have just as bad of an offense. Great defense, bad offense. So you're getting the Jets, the Titans, and then the Raiders. Come on. That's a gimme. That's 3 weeks of a defense that probably ain't even going to get picked.
The workforce program prepared me for the career I have in the aerospace industry.
I better believe that will be my draft in every league that I do. The Browns defense. So it's getting close to me again, and I can see that I can go with the plan that I want. But I'm going to have to make the decision. So either I could get Isaiah Correll and get Alfred Blue. Isaiah Correll and Amir Abdullah or Andre Williams. Or I have to go with Alfred Blue and then get Arian Foster right after on the come around. It's the chance I'll have to take. Alfred Blue will be my number 2. It's not that sexy, but I do have Arian Foster on the bench, and that's what I'm prepared for. I love that pick with Jarvis Landry. I love Jarvis Landry. Okay, so I am going to go with it just because I think I'm set with wide receiver. Adrian Green, Brandon Cooks, Andre Johnson. I think I have my 2 number 1s, and then Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks could be a number 1. So I definitely like what I have here, so I'm going to take the chance, and I'm going with Alfred Blue. And then on the comeback around, I hope that I can pick up Arian Foster. And these are auto drafts, so most likely these guys are not going to pick up Arian Foster, because auto drafts usually go in order the pre-draft rankings are in line with ESPN and not their own pre-draft rankings. You can't bring in your own pre-draft rankings and mock drafts. So as long as I pass here, I think I have Arian Foster. And like I said, it's a strategy that not a lot of people are going to do because they want to win. But I'm counting on Alfred Blue doing what he has to do until Arian Foster gets back. And I'm counting on my wide receiver core to step up. And then, so I'm not going to be able to get Isaiah Correll, and I probably won't be able to get Amir Abdullah. But then I would also need to get another running back just in case, if Alfred Blue isn't doing good. So I would need to go deep into the recesses. Andre Williams is a good one. But either Monty Ball, Ronnie Hillman, like I said, I don't think C.J. Anderson is going to take it. I really don't. And you can call me and say, hey, C.J. Anderson is the best running back here, but I don't see how. Okay, so now I am going to go ahead and get Arian Foster. Okay, so I have him now. So I have Alfred Blue, who will be the running back in place of Arian Foster until Arian Foster gets back. Okay, so basically he's sitting on my bench. I'm drafting him to sit. It's a wasted spot, but it's something that I'm going to have to account for. Quarterbacks, I'm going to go ahead. I love Eli Manning. He's so far down, and I know he throws a lot of interceptions, but come on, man. This man has Larry Donnell, Victor Cruz, did we forget about this guy called OBJ? Oh my God. And then he has a guy named Corey Washington who I love. Ruben Randall. He can throw it to Shane Vereen. Come on, like Eli Manning is set to have a great year. Believe that. Eli Manning is where it's at. I still find it very amazing that people are not drafting him earlier and that I could get him so late in rounds. I really do. I can wait till round 9 and still get him. I could wait until round 10 and still get him. Matter of fact, here's one of my guys that I really want to get, so I'm going to put him on the list and I'm going to throw him on top because I love Victor Cruz. Okay? I love him. Michael Floyd is really good. Put him into the bottom though. And this is my rookie that I really want. I really want Dorial Green Beckham. See, Amir Abdullah's gone. Okay. So, honestly, man, Shane Vereen is nice. Okay, he's nice. But I see him and Andre Williams going at it. I see Andre Williams actually taking it. I feel like he's more of a Tom Coughlin type of running back. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and just get Andre Williams if he's around when he comes around. Then later on, it'll be between Jonas Gray. I usually pick Ronnie Hillman near the end. A guy I'm loving, and this is just from a pure me loving the 49ers standpoint. And he'll never get drafted unless he just continues to show out in preseason, which he had a very good first game. And I'm not even sure if he's on the list. You can always look by team. So that's what I'll do. And you look for, yeah, they don't have them. I'm not sure why. I don't understand that. But okay. Well, Jared Hayne, if he would just show up on here, he would be somebody that I want. Okay, so we're back at the running backs, and I do have my chance for Andre Williams. People are in love with Charles Sims, but I'm not a big fan of him. I saw him last year and didn't think he was so impressive. I did see Andre Williams, and I did like what he did. And so I am going to stick with my strategy and go with Andre Williams. Now, Eli Manning's still there, and until it gets to the point where I have to absolutely pick him, I'm just going to stay away from him. I don't think it's a necessity yet. I think I can still make it. And so I'm going to be looking for another running back. And I think I'm going to go Jonas Gray. I like what he was doing. I think that he can turn it around and get Tom Coughlin to start liking him more. Or I could just go with my boy Michael Floyd. Or Victor Cruz. And I think I'm going with Victor Cruz. So you can go and see who all has quarterbacks. And Rovito could take a quarterback still. So it's between Rovito and me, it looks like. Everyone else is solid. They got their quarterback. Oh, Team Carlson. Okay, so it's between Team Carlson, Rovito, and me. Okay, now this is where it starts getting tricky, because who do they value more? Do they feel the same? Do they think they could get someone near the end? It's too close for comfort for me. So since I picked before Rovito, if Carlson doesn't pick Eli Manning, I am picking Eli Manning. I, however, love Matthew Stafford, and I'm a big Colin Kaepernick fan, and not because I'm 49ers, because I think that he's got it down. I think that he's learned his stuff from Kurt Warner, and he has the mental capacity to learn and to apply. He does. Yes, he tries to overcompensate with his skill sometimes, but he has that ability. And Carlson just went with Tom Brady, so he's for sure going to have to get a backup to replace for a little bit, but at the moment he is rolling with Tom Brady and the Deflategate suspensions, and he's going to take his chances. And I have to go with Eli Manning now, because if the guy doesn't like a running quarterback, if the guy doesn't like the other two options, then Eli Manning is gone. Nobody else needs it. I picked before the guy picking, and now he's auto picking, so that's even worse. That's not worse. So he'll probably end up getting Tannehill, just because. Unless he already put his player cubes in. But I'm going to get Eli Manning just in case. No, he went Percy Harvin. Okay, and then, so Dorial Green Beckham is still there. Also go running back. Okay. And there's nearly no running backs to get. Jonas Gray is gone. So I'm not worried about that. I will be going with either Devontae Adams or Dorial Green Beckham. Honestly, even though I love Dorial Green Beckham, you can't pass up Devontae Adams' value in round 11. I hope that Dorial Green Beckham could come back to me. The likelihood of it happening is very slim. But if he does, I will snatch him up. See, and if you want one of the good defenses, please by all means pick them. I mean, the Jets, the Rams, the Seahawks, I mean, please. It's not my cup of tea. It's not something that I like to do, but it's something that is done. In standard leagues, it can win you some games. But me, I'm going to put my Browns on there, and I'm going to pick them when they show up, or when nobody else picks them. My kicker, I am going to go with someone down here, because I don't care. I personally like Phil Dawson and Chandler Catanzaro. Caleb Sturgis. I do. So it's not that big of a deal for me. I'm going to continue to fill my roster. I have 3 spots to get. I would like to get another running back, but there's nobody that even makes a difference. Danny Woodhead, maybe. James White could be the running back in New England. Daniel Herron might be an injury away from taking, Frank Gore's spot, which very well could happen. But I think overall I'm just going to get my boy Dorial Green Beckham, who I wanted. 1, 2, 3. I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I need a running back, okay? I need a running back, and I'm also going to pick Colin Kaepernick up. So I'm going to go ahead and go with I'm going to go Danny Woodhead. Phillip Rivers likes Danny Woodhead. Just to have somebody. And then I'm going to go Colin Kaepernick. And I got my Browns D, and then I'll get my kicker. And that's how my draft will end up. Seeing as everything goes as planned, I will end up with Eli Manning, Adrian Peterson, Alfred Blue, AJ Green, Brandon Cooks, Greg Olsen, Andre Johnson, the Browns D, Chandler Catanzaro, Arian Foster, Andre Williams, Victor Cruz, Devontae Adams, Dorial Green Beckham, Danny Woodhead, and Colin Kaepernick. Overall, I'm very happy with this team. I got my number one player ranked. I have a number one wide receiver. I have my steal of the draft, who I think is a top 24 player this year. I have a very solid tight end, the third best tight end, who can be Cam Newton's very favorite target. I have Brandon Cooks, who is possibly going to be Drew Brees' favorite target. I have Arian Foster, who can come in, and Alfred Blue to fill in while Arian Foster is injured. If Alfred Blue doesn't do well, I have Andre Williams. And if both of them don't do well, then I can either go to the free agencies, or I could just go ahead and throw in Danny Woodhead and get my 5 to 6, 4 to 6 passes, receptions, and 50 yards receiving, and maybe a couple receiving touchdowns and stuff like that. So I have no problem doing that. Knowing that I have the rookie that I like who could possibly break out, knowing that I have my absolute favorite in Victor Cruz, who nobody's thinking about, and knowing that I have a very hyped up Devontae Adams and someone who Aaron Rodgers does really seem to like, by all means. So it does look like I'm going to end up with exactly what I wanted. So I will see you guys later. Please do the mock drafts. Do a different position. First, second, third, all the way to 12th. Just draft in that position. And get to a point where you have an understanding of the players that you are picking and want to pick. If everyone have a great day, I'll see you next time.